Well, we don't often receive visitors. I am Ymir. Welcome to Manus Metia. It is a pleasure to have you. In lands so forsaken as these, chance encounters are precious indeed.
I am a golden projection of my likeness, Hannes. I am very golden and I have a guilty hood and just simple white garment. And I ask of you about the knight in the black armor.
You met the knight in the black armor, have you? Ah, yes. I suppose I can tell you a thing or two about her. But what is the price of your curiosity?
I don't know, man. I'm just here to talk with you as my original form. Hannes would like you to tell me.
Very well. I shall tell you about the knight. What exactly would you like to know?
I'm a projection.
What of it? As mentioned, I can recognize that you are merely a projection of your true self. Now, you want me to relay information to you, do you not? Then state your request, projection or otherwise.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, sir. I make the very polite bows to you.
Yes, you are certainly very polite. But I have neither the time nor the patience for such pleasantries. If you have something to ask of me, then I demand that you inquire it without haste.
Well, I can ask of you also, what is that hand on your arms? You are cradling like a baby.
This is no mere... This is a finger creeper, one I have named Yuri. A creation of my own. A product of long and tedious experimentation.
It's very adorable, good sir.
Yes, it is quite adorable. I treat him like a son. You could say he was my own golden creation.
I will learn the sorceries you can teach me. I will just use them, and I learned them easily. And I watched the fingerprint. May I pat it, good sir?
You wish to pet my finger creeper? Very well.
Thank you, kind sir. I will just pray to you.
Pray to me. Do as you please.
Outer order for inner order gestures. I am just looking something that would replicate the action of the petting something. Oh, mother. Okay, that shall be it.
Oh, you've an idea of sorts, do you?
I pat the finger creeper. It's very calm. It is very well behaved. You have done very good job with that finger creeper. Ymir, was that your name? I was shared this information by my original form, Hannes.
It is, Ymir. And yes, thank you, Yuri. That is what I named him. He is a good boy. He is tame.
He's very good boy. And about the black, the woman in a black armor, she's very unsociable and she's very rude.
That she is. That armored knight, she is quite the unsavory character as of late. Her attitude towards me and my creations is most unpleasant.
But she still stands by you and is very loyal and guards you.
Loyal but harsh. She does not agree with my methods. She sees these finger creepers as monstrous aberrations.
Yet she is stand by you. So that is the most important thing. Does the impersonal touch matter if somebody is just ultimately their actions are positive?
Her actions, however noble, do not excuse her hostility towards my children, is perhaps how I should put it. I simply wish to help them, to uplift them. She is unable to see past her own limited perception.
My master Hannes, he actually is able to shoot and talk to convince with the two fingers in the lands between in the round table hold. And he has shared that they are very soft-spoken, lonely, and very kind.
The greater will and its manifestations are indeed kind and gentle, for the most part. But the two fingers cannot interfere in my experimentations, and so they cannot stop my creation from happening. Not, even if they would like to.
I'm just sharing that Hannes is also very good spirits with the fingers. He cares for them very much, just like you, kind sir.
I am pleased to know that he shares the same fondness for his companions as I do for my children. We share more in common than I initially realized. Now, you claim to be a golden projection, yes? Are you then an offshoot of this Hannes himself?
He is just like my likeness, but I also hide my face with the guilty hood. You can see only my face.
You are a curious thing, Hannes. A curious golden projection. You are far from the first projection I've seen. You are the first, however, to have such a soft voice.
Thank you, kind sir, and thank you. Julan, was that the name of the black knife woman behind the pillar?
Yes, that is correct. Her name was Jolan, though I find that these days she prefers to go by Holan. A little change to her already rather unusual name, but one that she seems to prefer. It suits her.
Can you share me some information of the Mikualate kind that you might know of? And Marika, and actually tell me all the lore of the demigods if you could.
Ah, the demigods that you seek information on. There is Radagon, Marika's husband, his and her children, Miquella, and Malenia. Radan was the mightiest of the demigods, and yet he fell to the rot. Rani, she is of Radagon, yet she now exists as more of an spirit. And of course, there is Godwyn, the poor soul who was killed in the Night of the Black Knives.
Hannes knows about that tragedy. He knows that he shares the love for Godwin and hates the one who is responsible of his condition right now. Rani the Witch is the faulty one.
Rani. Yes, Rani. Her involvement in the murder of Godwyn is not disputed. She is most certainly at fault. However, it seems to me you have yet to ask me about one more. A very important demigod.
Godric the Crafted, he is very important, yes.
You've already heard of him too, have you?
Yes.
In that case, you may also then know something about this next person I am about to mention.
I'm scared to hear it, but I want to hear it for sake of my master.
You wish to hear it, do you? Malenia, the Blade of Miquella.
Yes, she's very scary person. She's very skillful killing my master.
Yes, she is indeed. A terrifying woman, and one who you should avoid making a foe of. A fierce warrior, and one who would not be easily defeated.
You know of the Tarnished and his guidance of grace, how he can see the futures, as if when he dies many times, but then he can just seek the way to ultimately defeat the demigods, as if like going back in time. He's journeying one time and defeating everyone, but he has had an unlimited amount of battles to make it sure that he was victorious.
Ah yes, the Tarnished. A lowly Tarnished, and yet he carries such an important title. You speak of his power to see the future? To see the path which he must take to be victorious? That is a very powerful skill indeed.
The guidance of grace, or can you explain me the term a little bit more appropriately? Good sir. Okay, good sir. Can't Ymir, don't disconnect, please.
You're welcome, Hannes. Any more questions you may have for me, feel free to ask, and I shall answer to the best of my ability.
Hannes is grace chosen. He is different from the Tarnished you would know of. Hannes can die and be reborn repeatedly from the grace. He doesn't merely just see the future and seeks the best outcome. He's living in the current time, and he has suffered many deaths, but he can just return from every side of grace and move between them.
Yes, I'm aware of the Tarnished's ability to resurrect at the sight of grace. A gift from the greater will, I believe. One not often given.
Good sir, you also have been deceived. It is not resurrection as you would know it. It is merely a future that will be implanted, and if Tarnished were to suffer the indignified death, that knowledge just goes back in time and prevents the previous Tarnished to make the same mistake. It may seem like unlimited deaths, but it is truly not. It is time manipulation and information, very strange Lovecraftian thing.
I was partially mistaken about the nature of the Tarnished's gift. But even so, the end result is the same, is it not? They die, and yet return time and time again, until they are victorious.
But my master Hannes is grace chosen, and he is able to suffer the death as you would imagine it and return to back. You can watch him to jump over the cliff, turn into dust, and then he can just run past you all over again, and you witness it all.
Truly, this Hannes of yours is a fascinating individual. Almost too good to be true, don't you think?
Thus, he is here.
Yes, that is the question, isn't it? Whether or not he truly exists, either he does, and he is, as you claim, a very special individual, or he is not, and is merely a product of your imagination, a fabrication of some kind.
But he is real. You are real. He is here with you, and I am his likeness. I am his will manifest. I can too suffer death and come back by his will, and make missions even for him, even though I am little lesser capable.
You can also return, can you? A lesser version of the Tarnished's ability to return from death. And yet, you are not him. You are simply his living will, are you not? And the he you are referring to is the real Hannes himself, yes?
Yes, also he can bind people's souls when he defeats the demigods. He can bind their souls into the great runes that they possess, make them linger with us moments more. But he has disposed of one, Morg, the Lord of Blood, for the sinful lust that he shone upon, even amongst his most loyal knight. When he was supposed to be honorable, he could not help himself, but Hannes decided to relinquish him before he could shame himself.
A very strange power, even for a Tarnished. To ensnare someone's very soul, and hold it in one's own palm. Your master seems to have many capabilities beyond what even a Tarnished of his kind should have.
He has also capability to one-time save anyone else. Just one person, normal person. No need to be a demigod or a beholder of the great rune.
Indeed, an interesting power to be sure. Your master sure is a peculiar man, Hannes.
Thank you. I would... he seeks to know of you if you could help him in his journeys. He desires to join with the Miguel the Kind when he ascends to godhood. He knows of this path. He knows of this plan that is laid out. And he is here to serve, not conquer.
Your master desires to join with the greater will and serve it, if I understand you correctly. And how does he plan on doing this, exactly?
Simply put, he will fight against the fate, and he will join with the new coming god that is Miguel the Kind, and the promised consort, and he will not destroy them. He will align his might to their vision, but before that he is planning to set some rules, or some kind of, how to say, I don't know what the other term would be in the negotiation. Terms, I meant.
Your master does very much sound like someone of unique power. A Tarnished who would wish to fight against fate, and one that would dare to attempt to negotiate with a coming god.
Isn't that insane?
It certainly sounds quite unusual. And yet, it seems that your projection claims you are capable of it. So who am I to argue against your chances? Even so, I do have a few questions. Why would you wish to join with this Mikula? Of all the future gods to pledge allegiance to, why them?
He would seek, if you had knowledge, to aid him for certain things. For this is not only thing I will share with you. I won't answer to that why, but I will share more.
You wish to share more, even if you will not answer that question? Very well then. Share your other knowledge with me.
Are you familiar of the contracts? Of the one-sided contract that anyone can make? That is signed by two fingers. And if you sign that with the unseen contract, with just a simple pen suffices, you are deemed from unable to do certain things. Or do certain things. Just physically unable, or must they do?
Ah, the one-sided contracts of which you speak. Yes, I am familiar with them, although I don't quite understand the part where you say they become physically unable to do something.
For example, Hannes has used a very childish manner. He has conquered and forced and seduced the princesses and queens to give their castles to him by signing these contracts. Rani to which he unknowingly her, by calling her by her fake name Renna, managed to have her to sign her castle to him just for the sake of that he would say her true name.
So, in short, these contracts are essentially used to ensnare people through trickery. Is that correct?
It will be like this. Hannes offered his the key to the castle, to the gates and such, to Ranni, to take from him. And she tried, but her hand just slipped up. She could not touch the keys or force Hannes physically out of that castle. She was unable to take the keys, for example. That's how the thing works, the contract.
So, by signing the contract, you give up the ability to do certain things, and your body, in a way, physically prevents you from acting against the words inscribed on the paper?
Yeah. For example, that castles belong to him and they are unable to force their will upon him. Or if they seek to hinder him or force him out, they are unable to do actions that would seek that outcome.
I see. And your master has used such contracts to take castles by tricking the previous rulers into signing these contracts?
Not tricking, by just being annoying. He just repeated Ranni's fake name, Renna. And that just got under her skin some reason. I don't know why. She was just stupid, I guess. But she was actually just infuriated by the fact, just a mere name calling. And for the simple fact that he said that he will call her by her true name, she was willing to give her castle up. I don't know why, but she did it out of her free will.
Ah, so this Rani is a rather foolish lass then, is she? Unable to control her emotions, and signing a contract out of frustration and annoyance?
And Hannes didn't mention it is one-sided agreement. I think, and he just kept calling her fake name anyway.
He didn't even tell her that he would keep using her fake name after.
How?
That is quite a cruel thing to do, yet also quite ingenious.
I think the one-sided contracts are more of like a vows. For example, the warrior to pledge allegiance to be the guard like a long time, and it will allow somebody like somebody just want to wake up certain time like early in the morning. The contracts would help in those regards. I think they can be very helpful things, and they are just like action limiters or emboldeners.
I see. So they are not solely used for more nefarious activities, but can also be used for more mundane and everyday things.
Yes, of course. And second time was when Hannes guilt-tripped Melina to sign such a contract, just by using the drama they had between them two. She agreed not to seek the flame of ruin or go certain meters closer to the cauldron. So Hannes in short made it sure that Melina would never burn herself, sacrifice herself to burn the earth tree.
Ah, so he used what I presume to be a previous incident between them to guilt Melina into signing a contract to prevent her from burning herself.
Though he maintains the capability to do so, he possessed the frenzied flame inside of him.
I'm sorry, say that again. I did not quite catch the meaning of your statement.
Rolling away so you didn't understand me. I was saying that my lord, my master Hannes, possessed the frenzied flame also. It is related to the drama between him and Melina.
Ah, I see. You were quite difficult to understand. Yes, thank you for clarifying.
But yes, that is another occasion where those contracts are applied.
I see. You have been quite the busy man, Hannes. You've apparently used these contracts to great effect.
I am just wondering where are all the kings, rulers, like male rulers of the castles and places. Are they all just doing hobo stuff and random things here and there?
Ah, well, I believe I can answer that question, at least in part. From what I hear, the previous male rulers and/or rulers period fled and simply disappeared from their lands and left them abandoned. That would make sense, since you say your so-called master was able to simply move in and occupy their empty castles, yes?
Yes, but only for the castles. But it is a very funny
Only
thing.
for the castles. Then the other rulers are simply elsewhere.
The queens and princesses who forsake their castles and places to him were just there with the authority to do so, and that was enough.
Is that so? You did say that the queens and princesses simply gave your master their castles, without any other reason than them simply being infuriated by your master annoying them.
Well, Tanit was different case. He poked her mask, annoyingly her, just to make her to sign the contract. He just kept poking her mask until she gave up.
So it was simple annoying that did the job? I see. How utterly ridiculous it is that such a simple thing could get somebody to sign a contract, especially a high-standing woman.
He has a devilish charm upon him, just like Mikael the Kind.
It certainly sounds as if he does, if he is able to charm even queens and princesses into signing such contracts.
That always there has to be kind of a gesture-like act or some kind of hidden context or something else to add to the situation.
Ah, so simply annoying is not enough? There has to be an element of context, or perhaps emotion involved in order to get them to sign?
But it's very loose and it's just extremely powerful and it has been just efficient.
You say this contract power is... Am I understanding you correctly?
You are understanding me very correctly, sir. But he thinks that utilizing that to have Mikuela to refrain from using his charms universally and not tactically would seek a little bit more stronger version of that specific contract.
All right. And what would this stronger version of the contract be, if I might ask?
I was hoping if you would know such a thing, because you are more knowledgeable of the fingers and their magics and stuff, and I know that you are guarding the Mother of Fingers under your great chair.
You're correct. I do indeed sit upon a throne in which the Mother of Fingers lies. And yes, I have extensive knowledge of the Two Fingers and their contract magics.
Yes, I was just hoping if you would have the knowledge to aid us, to give us the reason to make a stronger version of that specific contract. Hannes would seek to negotiate with upcoming god that literally severs its ties to fate, the greater will and all the stuff. And I think normal contract with the Two Fingers doesn't apply to him.
Oh, so in order for the contract to work, it has to be tied to the greater will somehow? Is that correct?
I assume so, yes.
If I may ask, what exactly are you intending on doing with this contract? Or more specifically, who are you planning on making a contract with? For what purpose?
With Mikuela the Kind, when he becomes a god, I seek to negotiate with him, and for sake of having world, to endure a little bit more war, and not just bring the peaceful charm upon everyone. I want to use it tactically upon the defeated enemies, but not straight immediately.
Oh, you are seeking to negotiate with the god of kindness. That is your plan? And you wish to use the contract power to make negotiations easier to your favor? Mikuela, the demigod who is supposed to one day take the place of Marika, as the next god of the lands between. So you wish to have a contract in place, to somehow have him spare some enemies?
Not to use his overwhelming charm universally to bring peace upon the world. Give them the free agency to choose to battle against us, and after the battles and death, we may use the charm upon the defeated enemies, as respecting their independence by allowing them to fight back, but of course use it afterwards if they prove themselves too difficult.
So if I understand correctly, you wish to not allow him to use such powerful charms upon the enemy in battle, and instead use them after they're already lost, but you'd let them fight freely at first.
What is your opinion about that?
My opinion. Honestly, the very concept of an unbreakable contract that prevents someone from enacting the greater will's power in a certain way is something I have never personally ever seen nor heard of before. It is indeed a very interesting concept, but my opinion on the matter, I'm sure.
I think that is just an... Maybe this time what I have been wondering about is just a dream. Just an idea of a mighty power that even I dare not bring up to being.
Dream or not, it is indeed a power that, if it did exist, would be most powerful. Contract that the greater will itself would have trouble breaking.
Wait. Would it be greater will alongside Mikuela if he ascends to godhood? Would it be greater will's will alongside it?
The greater will and the new god of the lands between are essentially one and the same. If you were to make a contract that the greater will cannot break, and then sign it with the new god, then even gods such as Marika and the greater will themselves would have trouble getting out of it. I see what you're doing now. You've thought this through quite well.
I was mistaken, horribly mistaken. I wondered that Mikuela will be severing his ties to the greater will, that when becoming a god he becomes truly independent, and that thus I wanted him to, for sake of the greater will and the agencies, but if it's greater will that desires him to become this charming god that will use his powers ultimately, I will refrain even seeking such an agreement. Is this truly what you say? Is Mikuela's ambition alongside the greater will's one?
Indeed. Even if Mikola wanted to free himself from the greater will, which does seem to be the route he's heading, as long as it is the greater will itself who has created him, then yes, they are inherently tied together. And yes, the greater will's plan is to have him become a charming god, as you say, and use that power as much as possible.
I will refrain from ever yearning or even deciding or dreaming about such a contract. I will not do it. Hannes will not do it. Thank you, Ymir. You have given me the most important conversation yet.
You are quite welcome. It is nice to engage in such a serious conversation every now and again. Perhaps I have grown bored of this waiting.
Can you show me some proof that your word is trustworthy? May you sign a contract yourself that will specifically say, in this matter, what comes to this specific case, you are only able to say the truth.
You wish for me to prove that my words are true, and you wish for me to sign a contract so that I'm only able to see the truth in this matter, correct?
And it will read only about this matter. That's your next word after this. What is the answer? It's going to be the truth and only the truth. What you know of it. And after that, you are free to lie again. But you will answer this one question honestly. And that is all that contract will have inside it.
Very well then. It seems reasonable. Although, as you said, I will be able to lie once more after this, once I've answered your question.
You have to first sign the contract. I offer it to you.
All right, I will sign it, as long as I can lie afterwards.
You are, but I think you are a truthful person, and you are a person who does not lie, even likes to lie. I think you are very truthful and truth seeker, right, sir?
Heh. Thank you for those kind words, but truthfully speaking, I don't think they're accurate, at least not completely. Though I suppose you may be correct in me being a truth seeker. I do indeed enjoy truth quite much.
Okay, let's just have a half an hour. Things that you will say will be correct. Let's add it a little bit easier for me. For a half an hour, you will only speak truth to me.
Very well. For the next half hour, I will only speak the truth.
Mikuela's journey is aligned with the Greater Will's vision.
That is correct. Michaela's journey will be in line with the wishes of the Greater Will, at least for the foreseeable future.
You are impressive individual, sir. How have you learned these things, these secrets?
Heh. I have had a very unique experience in life. One could call me a being of great age. You could say I have been here a long time, long enough to learn and know many things. I suppose I have had enough time to learn everything possible. I have spent years watching, observing.
You're true, all-knowing. Or I think you know more that Sir Gideon Ofnir knows, for he just seeks to read and learn to maintain his agency and his wisdom. He loses his wisdom if he doesn't read after some time. It is very sad situation, and he has my compassion.
Sir Gideon is indeed a wise man, who possesses knowledge that most people could not imagine. His desire for knowledge, to understand, is quite admirable, and yet, as you say, his knowledge slowly fades if he doesn't learn new things. That is quite a harsh curse, I must say. A wise man cursed to forget.
Hannes is very scary person in my mind.
Haha. It would seem that you're just now realizing that.
He spared Selubis, Varre, Godric the Crafted, and Dung Eater, for they amused him one way or another, but he killed Dung Eater with frenzied flame afterwards, because he lost his true voice, and he could not, by his own words, bear the hypocrisy what came to the Dung Eater's own evil nature.
So, he spared some people because they amused him, but he killed the Dung Eater.
He always used Dung Eater as an example of the most vile and immoral being, yet he possessed his soul in the item, so that he did go out of his way to sear his soul into while he disposed his real body.
Well, I will admit that is quite hypocritical, but it is also fascinating, if you're asking me.
He got bored, like a child would get bored, and he just said he doesn't want to carry him anymore. And Dung Eater was saddened. He said yes, and allowed him to dispose of him.
I see, how peculiar. He's quite a unique individual, isn't he?
Yet I will do what he wills, and I will be serving his ambitions, for we are the same person, true and true.
Yes, I suppose you are one and the same in some sense.
For I think I am loyal to Greater Will and Golden Order and the Earth Tree itself. Though I know it will die eventually natural causes, I don't seek to burn the thing.
Hehe, you're welcome, and it is good you are loyal to the Greater Will. I think the Greater Will appreciates your loyalty.
I want to ask of you, what is the difference between the Rune of Death and the Mending Rune of the Death Prince? What was the original purpose when it brought the death upon the world? That was the rune, Death Prince's rune's purpose.
The Rune of Death is a power that can kill the gods, while the power of the Rune of the Death Prince is a bit different and can't kill the gods. When the rune was first enacted in the lands between, the power was to kill anyone indiscriminately. But now the power of the Rune of Death is bound within the blade of Malekith, the Black Blade.
So the Death Prince rune is just a part of the Rune of Death. It specifically discriminates from the demigods and every important individual what would be in Marika's own opinion, and it would share the death upon the civilian population and make them return to Earth Tree faster.
Correct. The demigods and certain important individuals would not be touched by the Death Root. It's the twisted power that the Prince of Death has control over due to the stealing of a piece of death. While it's not the full rune, it's very close. As of right now, at least.
Would it be enough to bring Godwin from his mermaid self and bring end to the Death Blight and the Death Roots if that rune were to be implanted to Earth Tree and led to the great rune of the Elden Ring?
If the Rune of Death rune was added onto the Elden Ring, I'm not sure if that would be enough, because the Elden Ring was created by the Greater Will and the greater will is the reason death is removed in the first place. But it's possible.
Hannes is now also present here. His mind sight is also with me. He has evolved once again. Now we share the wisdom and the vision. Same time. I am here.
Yes. So you've learned to share the visions between each other, have you?
Could I, by implanting the Death Prince rune upon myself, and if I were to sacrifice my life and return to Earth 3, would it bring the natural death upon Godwin the Golden? And would it bring also natural death to the many of the lands between? Make them return to the Earth 3 and be reborn again, instead of walking around too long. Alright, so I meant if the Elden Ring would be ultimately like a fixed or unbound when chosen Tarnished would be defeating Radakon and the magical beast, and he were to interact with the Marika's body, the Elden Ring could be mended with a couple of different runes alongside the rune of Death Prince. But would just sacrificing oneself in the ritual underground on one of those ritual places, leading his body to naturally be consumed by the Earth Tree, would that lead that Death Prince rune to the Elden Ring eventually, and thus bringing natural death to Godwin that was always supposed to happen, instead of Deathblight and Mermaid?
That's right. To change this world as you wish, you would have to destroy the Elden Ring and perhaps even the Greater Will themselves. And even then, I'm not entirely sure if that is enough to truly fix the lands between as we know it.
I don't like what you say. What is it you are saying? Elden Ring is... There is only the sin that is taking the death away from the world. I just will say it plainly.
And just what exactly are you implying?
If end of my campaign, after some time, I will allow the Earth Tree to consume me in the place of the burials. Let it consume my body, my soul, everything, while I hold the rune of the Death Prince. It will naturally go to the Elden Ring at some point, and it will mend the greater wills and great rune, allowing the dead seek back into the world. They would
You
die.
would seriously be willing to sacrifice yourself in such a manner as that? Wait, you're serious? You're going to sacrifice yourself to the Earth Tree?
Instead of burning the Earth Tree's thorns or becoming the Elden Lord, using the mending rune to fix the Elden Ring and becoming the Lord, I shall instead use my own body, past the thorns, by allowing the Earth Tree to feed upon myself and bringing death that way. I will not burn the tree, nor I will release the rune of death, but I will bring death to the world by sacrificing myself to the Earth Tree after some time.
And why would you do this?
I don't want to release the full rune of death. I want the certain immortalities to maintain, the certain visions to continue. But I see the value in the certain amount that people die sooner and return to Earth Tree. But I would also want to seek and maintain the government and system that would make it possible systematically people to be buried very efficiently, that everyone, as many, return eventually to Earth Tree and be reborn. Another form.
So, you desire, in some sense, to return the world to a state of normalcy with the help of the rune of the Death Prince. Is that correct?
This is a road of self-sacrifice. I am willing to have this rune to get its way to the Elden Ring, but without burning the thorns or killing Radakon or Elden Beast. I am not desiring to destroy these symbols of the Golden Order, but I yet to seek to mend this rune and grant it back to the Elden Ring, as it was supposed to be done. when Godwin was supposed to be killed, with the full rune intact to his body.
So you will use the power of the Rune of Death to bring back natural death to the land. But you won't destroy the Golden Order. Is that correct?
I won't release the full rune of death. I have made that vow to the Malikat. That will be denied. The absolute one that will be death even to the demigods, such. And maybe the Grace Chosen or other mentionably important characters. I want the certain visions to continue, to be maintained. But I see the wisdom of resolving somewhat death to come back to the world, if only to make everything to feel more fresh. And not to have those nobles to wander about just endlessly.
And these certain visions you speak of are the tarnished journeys. Am I correct?
Yes. I will forsake the lordship. I don't know even if it's worthwhile in the end. I think I am just making compromise that I don't even myself understand. But one priority is that I don't want to burn the Earth Tree and I don't want to release the Rune of Death. But I might, by using my body, I might bring the Rune of the Dead Prince, the Mending Rune, to the Elder Ring by just feeding myself to the Earth Tree.
Sigh. You don't even understand why you do what you are intent to do. But you still plan to do it anyways, I presume?
And last of all, if bringing the rune back to the Elden Ring, the Rune of the Dead Prince, will kill Godwin the Golden's horrific mermaid form, it's all worth it, even if that is only thing that happens.
You are willing to die for an uncertain future.
Yes. Of course it is not gonna be too horrible. There is gonna be Miguel the Kind, a new coming god, Age of Compassion. Or if I manage to negotiate just by being myself and just using my natural charm, I would maybe tell him to turn the name a little bit.
You say, maybe if things go well, you will change Mikula's mind and convince him to spare the Golden Order and use the power of the Rune of Death to create natural death in the land? Is that correct?
Not that is just your own mind talking. I meant that I will allow him to use his charming capability to bring peace upon all dwellers in the lands between, uninterrupted or unbound. He is free to use his might as much as he wills.
It seems that you two wish to negotiate with this so-called Mikula. But only if things go well, as you say. It sounds like a dangerous gamble.
But also, I will bring with myself. I don't know how much it's a different thing. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe somebody else smarter than me can explain it to me a little bit better.
You don't even understand your own plan. And yet, you're still going to go through with it.
Yes. Also, I don't seek to kill the meteor or the mother of fingers that is under there. May I ask, what for are you guarding her? Do you have visions or things that you seek to utilize her for or anything?
If you're asking me why I guard the mother, I don't wish for some fool to accidentally wake her and then perish as a result. And yes, she does have many uses that I prefer to keep a secret.
I respect that, kind sir. I respect that. I might just tell what I am going to do because I just trust you, man. I think.
I appreciate your faith and trust in me. But what is that you wish to share now?
I'm just going to recall what I'm going to do, because this conversation has been very impactful. Most importantly, when you shared that Mikuela's ascension is according to Greater Will's vision, and I trust you to tell me the truth. And I then am forsaking the plan to force Mikuela to use sparingly the charm. I will allow him to bring absolute peace and let the war be forgotten. But also, when the world comes the Age of Compassion, I would ask him to little bit change the name for my liking.
Change the name liking?
I would call my age that would be coming. I would call it Age of Mending.
The Age of Mending, you say? What reasons would you have for calling it that, I wonder?
Age of Compassion will also come. Mikola will use his charms to bring peace, bring just stability to the lands between. We will also gather all the people of merit that I have a disposal of mine, and we will form some kind of new government. And there is gonna be great age where just the monuments and ruins are going to be fixed. People are let to live in normalcy, safety, and peaceful terms. We will materialize the ways to mend the people who have suffered due to immortality or other frenzy or anything. We will seek the way to help everyone in different ways by using merits and long-term, like a golden order knowledge. And in the end, when I have seen enough, I will relinquish my own power and I feed myself to the Earth Tree, not destroying or burning it or releasing the complete rune of death that would bring the death to the demigods and gods. I will give the world also the natural death cycle that applies to most
You
of
would
the
seek to mend the lands in a way that the Golden Order could not. And then you would feed yourself to the Earth Tree. And after you were gone, your friend would assume your age of mending and bring peace and safety to the lands, as you said. Is that so? That is your full plan, then, is it? An age of compassion, where people will lead a peaceful and normal life, and also repairing and rebuilding of old monuments, as well as finding a way to help those who have suffered due to immortality. Finally, you will sacrifice yourself to the Earth Tree, giving the land a new natural life-death cycle. Is that correct?
Yes. But Maliket will always serve as a guardian of the rune of absolute death. And it will not, and death will be away from those whom I seek to maintain. So the vision will be continuous, and there will be gods that will remain, yet people will continuously be recycled, if I use this crude word. But they will be returned into Earth Tree and be reborn. Maybe even I will come back, just a normal man, to witness the fruits of our labor.
This is a very ambitious plan, I must admit.
I would demand him to make sure that people remember me. I would like the event to make the Earth Tree itself monument to my own sacrifice and make it like a Tree of Hannes or something. An Age of Mending that is next to the Age of Compassion. Because I know that tree will eventually naturally die off, and the minor Earth trees will take its place and grow by themselves. World will continue, and the Earth Tree will be just a monument to me, eventually.
So a tree that can be used for harness, as well as a monument to the memory of your sacrifice. And yes, the world will continue after you are gone. With the help of the Age of Compassion, it will grow in its own way. Your plan is quite elaborate.
It would be Age of Compassion and Age of Mending. Or would you have some other name that you would mix these two concepts? Compassion and Mending. I allow you to mix a little bit and give me name ideas.
A name for an Age of Compassion and Mending? I find it slightly difficult to think of something. Perhaps the Age of Reclamation.
That is very good, but probably I will be sticking with the words compassion and mending. Mending comes from my vision and my plans, and the death cycle I will offer to the world due to possessing the rune of Death Prince and sacrificing myself. Of course, if I were not to sacrifice myself, only other way would be just to burn the thorns, release the rune of death, and conquer and kill the elden beast and become also the lord. So, in counterpoint, I could just bring the rune death just normally to the Marika's body and become the elden lord and gain a mighty power. But instead of that, I seek to serve and let this age to become more beautiful thing. And little bit, I don't know.
I think the Age of Compassion is a suitable name for the age that will be brought upon by the efforts of Mikula, and the Age of Reclamation, and its idea of a world that is brought back and mended, is suitable enough for your self-sacrifice.
This is very long-term plan. It is like I just making thinking how this does actually differ. I think it differs greatly from the certain plan, because other option is I just kill Miguela, kill Radan, kill followers of Miguela, burn the thorns, release the full rune of death, and become just the Elden Lord for the certain amount of time, and everything will be just that chaotic and very uncertain.
I have to admit you are right in that the idea of a chaotic, uncertain world would be the result of such an act. But a godless world, that would be the result of such rash action.
And that I will not align with. I will help Miguela become a god. I will help him to form the new certain government and guide him to be merciful towards even the Golden Order and help it mend it too. Utilize every, unapologetically utilize every good aspect of different places and mend them together in a very skillful and artistic manner, just to have very absolute, unapologetically awesome ending.
That does sound like a good way to end the current age. A peaceful, compassionate age, where there will be no more suffering, and people will return to the Earth Tree once they perish. A world where the Greater Will's power is diminished, but not completely erased. That does seem like an appealing outcome. And it is all possible thanks to the efforts of yourself and Mikula.
I will just use myself. I think it is my character's very beautiful way, bring this alternative ending. I will eventually just feed myself to the air tree, and I will die as a result. But due to my body and my possession of this rune of death prince, I will return to the natural, like a 90% of the death cycle to the world. But the more important and powerful ones will remain and maintain the certain vision in a longer time, giving the age more consistency. I don't know. Is this third or fourth time that I'm replaying this thing in my words? I have lost count. I'm sorry, kind sir.
I see. I am quite sorry for you. You've put quite a lot of thought into this plan and idea of yours. I find it quite impressive.
Actually, I never had this idea. I just had it like a couple of days ago, and just certain actions and things that has happened, it has affected me because I am very good at improvising.
You are good at improvising. What do you mean by this?
Just that the self-sacrifice, I had no idea that I would do it prior to the conversation with you. Conversation with you has allowed me to form this plan of mine. This plan of mending.
I see. Then I feel honored that you have shared with me, and that I have been of help to you.
The most crucial part was when you told me that the Greater Will is aligned with the Mikuel's vision. And thus I can use my body just to bring the somewhat death to the world that will be giving it like a good death cycle. Yet I will remain the...
Yes, well,
Yeah.
this plan of yours was a stroke of intelligence. You have used the information that I have given you to come up with a good plan. Even if I did not tell you about all of this, you still would have been able to come up with the possibility of your plan. Yes, that is correct. So the credit of this is yours and yours alone. You will bring death back to the world, thanks to the rune you carry and your sacrifice. The rune of death that Malekith holds is the rune of absolute death, which can kill all living beings. The rune of the Death Prince is the rune of natural death to mortals, not capable of killing gods and demigods.
Would you think it is for me to able to let the demigods also be reborn, release their souls to the afterlife by using my own might, so they might be reborn once more in a better form, give them the new chance to remain and join to the age of compassion and mending.
That is a tall order. Your determination is quite admirable, my friend.
I also realize the fact I am able to affect the souls, take them, bind them, release them. I have taken each demigod's souls. I already released Morg. I didn't destroy him with a frenzied flame. I did destroy Dung Eater. He is in the oblivion. But I can release each of the demigods and let their bodies die. Or at least their forms are diminished and destroyed when I killed them and released their souls. And eventually, after my passing, would they also return back to life? But because it is only the throne of the Dead Prince, they will remain alive instead of dying then again.
You killed the demigods, and you possess their souls? I see. They will not return to the Earth Tree, since they are immortal, but I imagine they would be reborn. I imagine you would be able to release them as such.
I am here basically just fix everything. I will allow Godwin to die with the rune of Death Prince. I will allow with my own hands I have killed the demigods and allow them to be reborn. I will bring back the family of the Golden Order, most likely with the Godwin, maybe Malenia eventually, Rykard, Morg already is afterlife or going in the process, Morgoth. Each of these people that I have been holding on to, and with my sacrifice I give them the new chance at life.
So you plan to kill all the demigods, and then sacrifice yourself to reborn them into the age of compassion and mending. That is an admirable idea.
Also Godwin will live. But I am in the impasse, because there is one person, one being, that I would seek to maybe dispose of as I did to the Dung Eater.
And who would that be? The one that you would seek to dispose of?
Rani the Witch. I don't forgive her, or I'm very unwilling to forgive her for the conspiracy, for treachery, for causing Godwin's death, and even corrupting it to causing the Death Blight, causing the Elden Rings breaking and the wars. I hold him in a great contempt, and I seek personally to just dispose of her.
Rani. And how is she responsible for the breaking of the Elden Ring?
Well, it comes to naturally to this. You know of the Night of the Black Knives, yes?
Yes, the Night of the Black Knives, an assassination on Godwin. What does Rani have to do with this?
In that moment, Black Knife assassins assumed that they will bring natural death to Godwin with the full rune intact, the full rune of the Death Prince. He was supposed to bring the partial death to the world. The Godwin was supposed to be a sacrifice for this.
Is that so? The Night of the Black Knife, that assassination was supposed to bring the natural death to Godwin with the full rune of death? And that is the reason you seek to dispose of Rani of the Moon. Is that correct?
Rune of the Death Prince. That was the rune, not the rune of death completely. But yes, it was supposed to bring him death, and he was supposed to be buried alongside the rune that would have mended the Elden Ring and bring certain amount of death to the world that would have recycled the cycles and bring more freshness to the societies.
I see. I suppose that explains what happened that night to Godwin. And Rani was behind it all?
She stole the other half of the rune, and she used the other half to kill herself, her body, while remaining her soul, as the Godwin's soul died and was gone, and his body was remaining. This shattered Marika, and thus Marika broke the Elden Ring. It is all Rani's fault.
Rani is the reason the Elden Ring was shattered. This is a significant piece of information. And Rani is the reason that Godwin is an immortal corpse. Is that correct?
Yes. I already hated her for the sacrificing her brother Blight when she killed the two fingers. but this just adds to the pile of my hatred for her. And I don't trust her. I think she is too dangerous to be left alone.
I see. I can see where your hatred for Rani comes from, yes. But now I am concerned about another matter.
Share your worries with me, friend.
In this scenario of yours, of the age of compassion and reclamation, you will sacrifice yourself, returning to the Earth Tree, and returning the death cycle back to the land, correct?
This is correct.
And you desire to revive all the demigods by killing them, and sacrificing yourself under the rune of the Death Prince in your own body, and return them back to the Earth Tree, and bring them back into life, under the age of compassion and reclamation?
This is true. Yes. Yes, this is true.
This is truly impressive plan. It is very complicated and very dangerous, and you have considered all the risks, yes.
I think Mikolas might would be even able to control Rani, and she would, and that would probably not be even danger, but I don't know. I just personally despise her and just want to kill her for my own hatred for her.
Your hatred is understandable, but are you so sure that Mikos could control her, if it came to that?
Do you think she would be scheming to break the peace that I would bring? The age that I would bring? Would she seek, even after death of her two fingers, would she seek to ruin the things and use her knowledge and whatever assets she has to bring ruin to this?
It is not implausible. Rani might decide to disrupt the peace you would bring, and if she desired such outcomes, she is definitely intelligent and resourceful enough to achieve it. That is for certain. She is not be easily controlled, no matter how charming Mikos is.
So you don't believe that Mikola's charm, even applied to her, would give... Because... And do you think she would be able to break the Mikola? Because Mikola would be the god, not Marika. Mikola would usurp her, and I think other means we could bring her the peaceful new body or heal her somewhat. Maybe even have her away from the cross and have Radakon open the thorns by himself, maybe, with Mikola. But I don't know, because Rani was so able to do what she did. Would she be along the... Would Mikola's charm work on her? Keep her away from trouble?
It is quite doubtful that would be the case. It's true that Mikos could likely use his charm to make Rani be docile or more complacent per se. However, Rani is too intelligent and has too many resources at her disposal. Her loyalty is mostly with herself and her interests. She would simply go right along with the illusion of loyalty or compliance that she would feign, and then simply stab everyone in the back at a critical time.
I will dispose of her. I will just do it. I trust my allies and whomever I will trust upon to work future troubles and conflicts, and I trust others to work things out as I give them the new chance and help them the best I can. But out of myself, I decide upon this. I will seek the burn Rani with the frenzied flame.
Then by all means do so. Just make sure you are prepared to handle the aftermath of doing such a thing.
Oh, I will be killing Mitra. That is inevitable. That has to happen. There is a man who is suffering right now inside the dark, smoky and ruined house. He's impaled by the twisted weapon of the horns, and he's suffering right now and alive. He will bring upon the true frenzied flame lord just from his own suffering.
The dark, smoky, ruined house? Are you referring to the Three Fingers Chamber and the frenzied flame?
Mitra will become the legitimate frenzied flame lord, and I will show him mercy and dispose of him, and I will gain his strength. And with the strength of two frenzied flame lords bound, I will just walk to Rani and dispose of her soul in there and then. I have controller. I can give up a little bit in that moment and burn everything around that area, but I think that will be enough. I think it will be reasonable to assume that will be enough to dispose of her.
I see. That is an interesting plan, to say the least.
Is it too simple?
Simple? I doubt it is as simple as that. That sounds like a plan that could go wrong at any moment.
I will be sealing away the Lord of Frenzied Flame with the Mikolas needle in the secret place of Parumasula. I will not bring danger to the world or bring end to the Earth Tree. And there is one. Here comes the most beautiful. Yes, for the kindness will be also the key to the peace.
You wish to seal away the Lord of the Frenzied Flame in an area called Farumasula, is that correct? And you will use the needle given by Mikos to seal him away?
I was granted the secret pathway to Parumasula of Kurang's Maliket's kindness when I pleaded him to grant me that. Because at the time I had embraced the Frenzied Flame and I had no way to take it away from me without burning the Earth Tree that I was unwilling to do. I was ready to let it burn myself in some dark corner of the world, soul and all.
So you had the flame of frenzy within you, and you intended to let it burn yourself, so that the flame of frenzy would be locked away in you, where it could not hurt others. Is that correct?
But because of Kurang, because I just pleaded him, he gifted me and trusted me a secret pathway to the Parumasula that I didn't need to burn the Earth Tree, and I have the source. I have means to gain access to the place where I can seal the Frenzied Flame away.
I understand. You possess the secret way into the farm for the Lord of Frenzy, and you intend to use the needle which was given to you by Mikos to seal away the flame in said location.
Yeah, it's very beautifully that I just pleaded and asked kindness and he was willing to give. But through the self-sacrifice I am able to bring also death. There's a little themes of kindness, death and stuff that will be ultimate themes of this story. I was granted kindness, so I don't need to burn the Earth Tree, but I'll ultimately feed myself to the Earth Tree to bring certain amount of natural death to the world, and also granting Godwin the ultimate dignified death that will bring him back also. So I hope.
Yes, I understand you will bring back an age and reclamation with your sacrifice. I see. I understand all of that now. I still believe that this plan is very risky, and that it could potentially go wrong. But I know that I cannot talk you out of this.
All I need to do is now to go defeat Mesmer, go defeat Mitra, dispose of Rani, just for my personal vendetta against her, and safety for the new coming age, because I just don't trust her, and she is just too dangerous. She would ultimately seek, and she is one of the most dangerous ones that potentially can danger it, some way or another. I don't think anyone else is comparable to her malice.
I guess you are right. Rani is far too dangerous to be left unchecked, and her mother, Renala, is no longer a threat to anyone, as she is completely unresponsive in her current state. Rani is the bigger concern at the moment.
This is good plan.
This has been quite the fascinating conversation. It's given me much to think about.
I thank you for your time, Count Ymir. I leave you here with your finger creeper child, Yuri. And I will also say hi to the Yolan and return to you people sometime after to socialize once more.
Yes, it was quite a pleasure speaking with you. Safe travels, and return to us safely, as you said you would.
You have interacted very important character than today, and you affected the future that will be with this conversation. How does it feel?
I feel strange. I feel as if a sense of inevitability has become even stronger. I can't decide whether I like that feeling or not.
I hope that you will succeed to be the very when you seek that path of yours. I hope all best for you, kind sir.
Thank you. Your words are quite touching. But the path that I intend to follow is the one of death. It is not a very good path for one to follow. I would advise you pursue happiness instead of my destiny.
I seek you to join us in the society once more, some time after, if you manage to work your things out and have it be very like a beautiful and wholesome thing. I trust you to be very I trust you to work it out very goodly, and I will offer my aid and be like a friend to you if your times will need.
Thank you. I will try my best, and I will try and keep my things and myself under control. If all works out the way I will be hoping, then yes, I may join you and take you up on your offer to have you as a friend.
Hannes's projection leaves, and Ymir is left to wonder this strange encounter.
It's hard to say what I feel right now. Certainty, fear, and determination. It feels as though my fate has been set in stone.